Okay, so after the review of Deltarune, of course the next video is going to be Spyro Enter the Dragonfly for the PlayStation 2. This was going to be a challenge, but I am all up for that. And sure, it'll take me at least a couple of weeks to get it done, but yeah, I probably had some stuff to do behind the scenes. What type of situations do I get myself into? I have no idea, but I do know that eventually I knew for a fact that I would have to come across this game one day. I never thought in my lifespan that I would cover this game, but since we've already checked out the original trilogy and the remake, I suppose it was a matter of time before I had to pick myself up and land head first into Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. Or, in another way to describe it, Spyro Enter the goddamn piece of frickin' shite dragonfly. And I guess it was also a matter of time before I decided to actually upload another video. Oh, hey lads and gals, it's been a while! So before we put the disc in and play the game, a little bit of history before the game's release. After Spyro Year of the Dragon, Insomniac sold the rights to create Spyro games. I'm pretty sure that was a worldwide panic back then, but apparently the reason why is because Insomniac was running out of ideas for Spyro. And that's a pretty decent explanation. Spyro doesn't really have hands and there's not much you can do with him except copying and pasting the same formula as before. So while Insomniac was preparing for a new beginning, in the Ratchet & Clank series, the PlayStation 2 console had arrived, and somebody needs to create a new Spyro game just like with Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex, but hopefully more better. Universal Interactive Studios was given the task to assign a developing group to make the next Spyro game. And who did they give it to? Two developers that had zero experience in making video games. Sure, why not? So with all that covered, let's begin with the opening. And what I mean by that is the loading screens. Yeah, get used to that. So now we're at the main menu and we get to choose our logo for our new game. As you can see, there's a lot of unique faces around. Oh, how lovely. So now we are all set, let's begin Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. Yep, you saw it folks. That right there wasn't any of my weird video editing skills, that is actually how the game starts. Well, I will say that the graphics and color palettes are more better than the Wrath of Cortex, but trying to give this game praise isn't exactly saying much. But hey, there are at least some good things about the introduction. As I've said, the game isn't the worst looking game, Hunter and Bianca are still together, so that's nice, and Ripto comes back from the dead. Wait, what? Now this would be the part where I would say, oh no, Ripto, he's back from the dead, I thought it was burned in lava, but everyone else has already done that joke before, and it's getting pretty old by now. And trust me, I wouldn't be offering anything else, except for using that joke over and over again, just like everyone else has. But yeah, this is bullshit on so many levels. So Ripto's plan this time is to capture all the dragonflies so Spyro would be useless in battle. And he does just that. Even Sparks is gone as well. And you know, this is a pretty interesting story so far. Spyro has to risk it all in order to save his friend Sparks, going through endless amount of challenges and oh wait, there he is. We just happened to find him 10 seconds later. So that was a waste. Yeah, I know, right? I'm pretty pissed about that too, Sparks. I actually made that up, I don't know what he said. So the main objective is to go around collecting dragonflies and stop Ripto. Now as for first impressions go, this is pretty okay. It's exactly what you would expect. It looks like Spyro, it feels like Spyro, and more importantly, it plays like Spyro. It's the same type of 3D platforming style of the purple dragon that you know and love. You can't possibly screw this up. For starters, the game doesn't run that well. The performance seems to be somewhat glitchy. It just doesn't look appealing to the eye when I'm using the charge button, but the game doesn't want to move smoothly as I like to. There is only one hub world and 8 levels in total, which definitely sucks, especially comparing it to the original trilogy, which had triple the amount. But the hub world itself is mashed up into one. You get to check out the farm, snow, and many other places. And of course, with every Spyro hub world, you get to do tasks like collecting gems, looking at tutorials, and completing the jump sections for Hunter, which is doing the exact same thing as before. Oh, okay. See ya, Hunter, I guess. The movement and jumping for Spyro are okay, but there are times where I don't exactly feel in control of Spyro, as it feels like I'm just guiding him along the journey. So after some exploring, we can finally begin with the first level. But before we do that, we have to sit through some loading screens, which is kinda taking a while to load up. I'm starting to get some flashbacks over this. Now don't worry, I'm not going to put up a timer on so I don't waste any of your time like I did before, so I'll just say the time instead. Going into a level in Enter the Dragonfly takes around approximately over 1 full minute. Not even joking. This is a real kick to the balls here because the Spyro games made by Insomniac takes no more than 10 seconds to load up a level. But this right here is such a huge step backwards. And you could argue that because it's on the PS2, it's supposed to take a while to load up. Well, if the Ratchet & Clank levels can load up in around 10 to 15 seconds, why not this game? Enough said. So here we go, the level designs of Enter the Dragonfly. Again, they're okay, but nothing too special. I do like the concept of the level designs here. Some of them are pretty creative, like Dragon Dojo, Cloud9, and Honey Marsh to name a few, but it is a shame that these levels don't have any of that style and profile that made the levels in the original trilogy great. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like almost every level is structured as the same. You start the level, beat some enemies, collecting dragonflies along the way, and reaching to the end as you unlock a pathway to the start. So you're pretty much going around in a circle most of the time. And plus, these levels are big. Well, perhaps too big. I mean, sure it does look impressive, but there's nothing to look at. It's like exploring around in a desert as there's just nothing there. Bigger doesn't always mean better, dudes. As I've said, your main objective is to collect dragonflies, but first, you have to use your bubble breath to catch them first. Sounds very simple, but it turns out to be that this is one of the most annoying parts about the game. They don't stand around waiting to be saved, they'll just fly away from you until you capture them. It's so freaking irritating, and the worst part is, they will mock you for not securing them. And they're supposed to be a collectible, for crying out loud. Just have a look here, it took me almost 5 minutes just to capture one dragonfly. Collectibles are supposed to be rewarding, why complicate things? And speaking of dragonflies, what is up with their names? I mean, I know that they are dragonflies in a magical realm, but what kind of name is Tashi Station?
Hey Karen, look, it's our baby boy.
Oh honey, I'm so happy.
Me too. Hey, I've got a great idea for a name.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What is it?
Tashi Station.
Spyro also have some new breath abilities. You have bubbles as previously mentioned, ice and lightning to name a few. You can also use your wings as a shield protector. And meh, sometimes it works, but most of the time it won't even aim properly at the enemy. The mini games are here as well, and they are just awful. Spyro is also known for having some cool mini games, but in Enter the Dragonfly, it's just plain bad. Sometimes it's in vehicle levels, which the controls are not great, and some of them are just too bad that it's not worth talking about. You do have the speedways, but now they are treated as minigames. Don't get me wrong, they are still fun to play as always. If there's one thing that this game did right, is the speedways. Oh hey, Moneybags is here. He'll save this game, right? Right? Well, actually, this is Moneybags' only appearance in this game. Then why bring him back in the first place if you're only going to show him once? While I'm at it, Bianca, Hunter, and even Ripto also doesn't appear much in this game. I remember back in Spyro 2 when Ripto always interacts with Spyro, but now the chemistry between the two is kinda lost. In each level, you can complete small tasks like helping out these kids. Wait, what? Oh Jesus, I wrote kiddo instead of little. That's something for you. I'll try that again. In each level, you can complete small tasks like helping out these little kids with their kites, and wait, what the fuck is this?
Spyro, my kite got stuck up in the tree!
Well, forget your kite, dude, we need some help over here.
Okay. It's time to address the elephant in the room.
I was wondering when you'll finally introduce me.
But not you! Go away!
Aww.
What I'm trying to say is that I should talk about the one detail this game has, and I cannot overlook this. Enter the Dragonfly is honestly one of the buggiest games I've ever played. I've never seen a game so full of bugs, so full of hiccups, that it'll be labeled as such a huge mess. If you played WWE 2K20, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I didn't cover every glitch this game has, but there's plenty of videos online you can check out to find out for yourself. But I will spoil one glitch you can actually do. So you go into this section of the game, I honestly don't know what this area is called, go underwater, find this little gap in the fence, swim in that direction, and before you know it, you're now out of bounds and can now swim in the air. The gods are extremely pleased with you. It's a shame that I haven't unlocked the boss area yet, but still, it's cool to...
Okay, that's it. I am done with video games for today. I'm tapping out.
But it still begs me to question, why didn't the developers take their time to fix any of the glitches? This one is a huge glitch. You can skip everything that the game has to offer and just go right into the final boss in around, hold on, I'll see the speedrun world record for Enter the Dragonfly. Only over 1 minute? But that's like the same time as the loading screens, what the fuck? Okay, so now here is the first and final boss. Yep, only one boss in the entire game. If you want to talk about lackluster moments, this is it. The boss itself is okay, but nothing too special. So I beat Ripto, and just like that, the credits roll. Now, if you want the full ending of Enter the Dragonfly, you first need to 100% this game first. But we all know I'm not going to do that. I will say that this game does have one good thing, one factor that I don't mind coming back to, and that is the soundtrack. It's so criminally underrated because it's laid by all the disapproval we've talked about throughout this video. It's not as Spyro-y as the trilogy, but it still sounds really good. But with that said, this is the only praise I'm giving this game. Now, truth be told, this game was going to be much more than what we just saw. Apparently there was supposed to be more hub worlds, more levels, and more things to do. Hell, the original idea was to bring Nasty Nork and Ripto joining forces together to stop Ripto. I meant Spyro. God damn it. It's a pretty neat idea, but it's a shame that this game got rushed in development. This game is such a huge mess, and you probably already knew that, but is this the worst game of all time? Well, surprisingly, no, it's not. As a matter of fact, I actually recommend that you try this game out. I know, it feels like I'm going crazy, but it's one of those games where you need to see to believe it. I personally don't come back to Enter the Dragonfly because of the game itself. I come back to it because of the glitches. They are really hilarious, and I'll gladly take this game over Secret Agent Clank and Superman 64 any day of the week. But yeah, it's still garbage.
Well, here's the part that I would say that the next video would be, Spyro: A Hero's Tale. Well, you can't really see it that much because the bloody stickers in there. Now, I would say that this will be the next review, but I kind of need to play it some more, so for now, this game's going to be on hold. So, with that said, join me next time for a very special video that may or may not be Crash Bandicoot. But yeah, most likely the next video is going to be about Crash Bandicoot.